Lovely guy, a GAA mad. He's a great Meath fan too. Noel Meath, thanks for letting us in. Now, with the jobs market tighter than ever, making a good impression in an interview is more crucial than ever. Employers use 6 key questions to weed out potential candidates, so preparing for these means you're halfway there. Career expert Jane Downs, author of the Career Book, joins me now to explain what those questions are. Good to see you again, Jane.
Hi, Martin. How are you?
First of those questions, can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Yes, that's the open-ended question where you can be sitting when I'm sitting on interview panels and people can take sort of 20 minutes to answer it, and it's where people go wrong. So to tell me a bit about yourself, really, the way to handle that is a little bit about the personal. So you give your name, you know, where you're from, if you come from a family of 3 kids, or if you have 3 kids, you mention that. So a little bit about the personal. Then you go for a summary of your career. So I've worked 8 years within a given industry. I've done this, this and this. Within that time, I've worked maybe in 2 or 3 companies. And then you talk about feedback in your career. And in terms of feedback in my career, I've been described as someone who's good to work with, somebody who's focused, somebody who gets the job done and who's a deliverer or something like that. And then the final piece of that question is just to state why you're here today. And the reason I'm here today is I want this job. I want this job because I believe I can do it and I can add value.
Well, once you start talking about your previous jobs,
yes,
the next question you say that you've got to field is, why did you leave?
Why did you leave? Your reasons for leaving give a really good message, I suppose, to an employer as to what you're about when it comes to your career. Do you plan it? Are you strategic in your approach? So give reasons for, give sort of summarised reasons for leaving each role, but always concentrate, I suppose, on the positives. You know, I made an executive decision to leave that role because I felt I'd learned a lot there and I felt I was going to hit a wall, and I suppose the skills I took with me relevant for this role are as follows. So never give a reason that, you know, a better offer came along or I needed more money. It's just not good enough. Okay. You know, it just raises flags, I suppose, red flags.
Okay. Also, and it's a question I'm sure that as Irish we find difficult to answer. Why should we hire you for this position ahead of somebody else?
And this is your chance, this is your showdown time to sort of sell yourself. And people get scared when they hear the word sell yourself. But it's your time to just succinctly lay out what you have to offer that role. So keep it simple, but don't overgeneralise, you know, that I'm a good worker, you know, I get on well with people. That's not strong enough. So make it relevant. Give that answer relevance to the role you're applying to. That you have 5 years experience in that distinct industry of which you've really performed. You have this system knowledge that you believe could allow you to hit the ground running, and you have the right attitude, you've done some research in the company, you know what they're about, the kind of people they employ. So it's a good time to just show the relevance for you for the particular role you're looking at.
Even before you start fielding the questions, be prepared and have your research done.
Yes, and you don't have to be super, I suppose, charismatic or extrovert, you know, to ooze confidence at interview. It is all about preparation, and it's also about gauging sort of the rapport and, you know, building the rapport between you and the interviewer, because I think people think that they're in a subservient role when they're actually, you know, being interviewed. But the reality is the interviewers are under more pressure. They have to fill the role. They have to justify why they're hiring that person. They have to create a good impression with the person they're interviewing, and they have to suss you out. So they have a lot of tasks there. So it's your job just to sell yourself.
So they need to know that you will fit in.
Yes. Because a wrong hire, Martin, for a job, you know, can cost a company up to 3 times their salary, research shows. So, you know, they've got to get it right. So if you can see yourself as, I suppose, the solution to the problem, you know, they have a problem, they need a role filled. You're there just to present your case.
Okay. They may also ask you, what are your weaknesses?
Yes, what are your weaknesses? And it's very interesting when I'm sitting on interview panels to see how people react to that. The body language changes, you know, and you can hear them almost saying, oh God, not this question. Oh yes, very much we watch body language because it gives us vital cues as to if somebody really is confident, if they say they're confident, etc. So when it comes to the weaknesses question, the most important thing to do is come across as being real, being human. We all have weaknesses. We're not there to catch you out. It's very much about just, you know, showing that you've been aware of a weakness you have, and that you've done something to work on it, and that you've seen the effects of that weakness. So if it's a weakness for the particular job, be straight if you haven't worked in that particular area, but you've worked in something relevant. Just state the obvious in a weakness. If it's a general weakness in a work context, you know, come up with something that's genuinely true, because then you come across as credible. But again, show that you've done something to work on it. You've tried to do something to rectify it.
So do not tell them, actually, no, well, I have no weaknesses, because nobody will believe it.
Yeah, no, because we all have them.
Okay, they'll ask you what you're going to do in the first month.
Yes, that's a great question for them to, I suppose, visualise you in the job, you know, and it's a great question at which to create a good impression. So I think the really important thing there is to show that you would manage and set expectations well. So you'd be comfortable setting expectations with your boss about what you need to do to deliver, and that you're equally comfortable setting expectations about your needs and what you need in order to do your job and the resources you need to do it well. It's that you'd be comfortable earning trust and respect with people. So mention these kind of things in an interview, and that you'd get to know the systems and processes, and that you'd be excited about learning the new systems and processes.
They will ask, and we're running out of time, they will ask, have you got questions for us?
Yes, and I think people feel that this is their time to sort of ask questions that they really need answered, when the reality is leave that to offer stage to find out some of the practical questions you need answered. Again, it's about trying to impress at that stage. So what are the key things I need to do from your perspective to impress in the first 6 months in this role?
So don't ask salary, don't ask holidays, wait until you're called back for the second interview.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right, Martin. That's it.
Good to talk to you.
You too.
All right.